started. I want to finish the PDF file for lecture 1 and moving into lecture 2. And since I give you a pretty big exercise homework, I'll reduce the push for more for next Thursday, but I'll try my best. Okay. For the distribution, basically here's the equations we're always talking about. CVAR is VAR plus I3 divided by beta. I3 is the red area. Beta is the blue area. Beta is based on the PDF, and I3 is based on the CDF. Beta is the PDF after VAR is the area of PDF and the ground. I3 is the ceiling value in the CDF red area. Okay, so it's a ratio of the red based on CDF and ceiling and PDF and floor. Okay, and both are perpendicularly. Plumb line is the VAR, and the key here to remember is VAR is a psychological thing. What do I mean by that? When you did your statistics, we say that, oh, alpha level set at 0.05 or alpha level set at 0.01. And have you ever asked the teacher why alpha at 0.01 or 0.05? Usually the teacher will say that, well, if something is very, very critical, just a little bit of alpha, you will reject it. So 0.01 is good enough. But if you don't feel that way, you're playing 20 questions. You ask, did you do this? Did you do this? 20 times. If you only have one time said that, it's alpha equal to 0.05. Okay, so later we'll cover a little bit of psychophysics about how risky is too risky, how challenging is challenging. But right now, I want you to remember VAR is a decisions. But after decisions, you will cut two area, and you're interested in that two area ratio. I3 in red and VAR beta in blue. Okay? And you need to visualize this because we're going to do it again and again. And for undergrad, well, even for this is a 4,000, 5,000 level class. I'm not pushing beyond. But I'll cover some of the joint distribution. So joint distribution means that I have two Weibull distribution or two log normal distribution. They grow together, and then you'll cover a region. Now, if you cover the region here, you can have the beta set at a certain level. So you can have two VAR, one for one CDF, one for another CDF, and then you said, oh, if it's beyond the both VAR, then I'll be in red. I'll consider that's very, very dangerous. If both are in within VAR, you'll say that I'm in blue, so I'm not that dangerous. Okay? Next things, I promise you, you're not going to do this in real case because I will give you the SAS code to run it. Since VAR is the area of CVAR is VAR plus the CDF with the ceiling, so it's 1 minus, and then the blue area is 1 minus here. Both is annoying because now you see there's an integral function, and imagine your homework. You have to do the integration of that, ugly gumbo strange distribution. I used MATLAB for a while, and then I use R for a while, but now I always use SAS. Okay, and this class will cover SAS. I'll tell you guys this: in the last 10 years, SAS, even though a lot of people say, "Oh, SAS is expensive, we're going to use R for everything," and that's the trend we follow. 2105, 3105 talk Python, and 3105, 3110 using R. But SAS still got certain domination in the market because they've been around, 40 years, 50 years. And even for myself, well, first, my industrial experience, the company I serve, they all use SAS. And even you use R, a lot of times they will say, "Oh, give me some SAS output so I can compare." And so in other words, SAS still got certain credibility in the field, okay? But here, I'm just saying that if you do log normal distribution, you find your FT, right? You still need to turn them into this equation. And this can be done easily using Excel. The ugly part is the integration part. Weibo, same thing. Special case of Weibo is what? When k equal to 1 is what distribution? People, what distribution is the special case when the shape parameter equal to 1? In Weibo, what's that distribution? Exponential, exactly. That should be common sense to you. Okay. And same thing, CVAR equal to VAR plus some region of blue, and then the integrations of some regions. And look here, okay, if this is FT, 1 minus FT becomes just the exponential part, okay? And one more thing you need to remember is the following, okay? Right now, the parameter lambda is a function, but later we will say that is a parameter lambda is a value, but later we need to say that, well, how to make that value big or how to make that value small depends on a lot of other things, right? People, if I tell you here are 2 guys, okay, both age 60, one drinking, smoking, everything you can imagine, and no exercise for the last 40 years. The other one, not drinking, not smoking, exercise daily. Which one you think are more likely to kaput quick? Yeah, and so we will say that, okay, the lambda value, change how quick it will die, depends on the behavior. How many pack of cigarettes you smoke. If it's 0, how many bottle of beers you drink daily or weekly. If it's 0, and how many exercise you've done. So certain things will make the CDF go to the ceiling quick. Certain things will make the CDF go to the ceiling slow. So shape parameter, all the parameter will change accordingly. And we would like to find those things. Okay. This is a simple way to talk about CVAR and VAR. And this time, the visualization is the following. Okay? Consider that I have someone who, failed. I can say this is an engine or something. Okay? In time 10 weeks, fail immediately. 20 weeks, 30 weeks, 40 weeks, and then number 1 lasts 170 weeks. So first thing first is bubble sort or your observation. From the die young to the one lasts forever. Okay? And then if I do it this way, okay, you can consider the following. Let me see if I can do it. Okay. So if you do it this way, okay, we can consider that there are 13 values. So equal to 1 over 13. Okay. And so let me do this way. Probably will make my okay, pay special transpose. Okay. So if I increase one value here, okay, if we, let's just consider this is a stepping function. So each one of them is 1 over 13. Okay? And then the first value is 0. So I can say that this is equal to 4 plus the increment. So last one, ooh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I know. 4. What did I do wrong? Oh. Okay, so you know this thing is die until the last one all gone, nothing left. Agree? So this is kind of like a fake stepping function. Once I have this fake stepping function, I can turn around. If this is ft, and st should equal to what? 1 minus the ft, right? So last one, I have nothing left, 0. So if I do this, okay, then I'll say that, hey, how about this? I set your beta level at 0.1 or 10%. Why I set it 10%? Just like, okay, would you agree with me? If you set up your beta level, you almost if you given you have a distribution, you set up your beta level, it's like you set up your VAR. Agree? If I know that distribution, the tail value, I know my blue, I know my beta, I know my beta, I know my blue. Agree? So now, let me just make this example simple, is that, okay, what if I said that, hey, give me a beta level at 10%. So if 10% of beta, okay, just 1 over 13, is that good enough for 10%? No. So you need to have a little more than 10%. You probably need the worst 2 outcome to reach that 10%. Because 1 over the 10%, you know that only 7.69%. So it's go a little beyond. And so if we go a little beyond, 1 is 7.69, and the other one saying that, oh, I need you to set up the level at 10%. 10 minus the first guy, 7.69, is 2.3% left. So based on this, what is my CVAR value? Will be first guy take up the 7.69, second guy take up the 2.3, 7.69 plus 2.3, total use up the 10% I given. So everybody nod, you figure out where this 2 value, 10%, 7.69 over 10, 2.3 over 10 coming from. Can you see that now? Okay, so we'll do the same things at the bottom. What if I set up my beta at 25%? 25%, 1 6 is 7.69, not enough. 2 is not enough. 3 will be enough. Close. after 3 of 7.69, I still have 1.92 left. So look at the denominator here. Remember, this time we set up at a 25%. So 25% use up one 7.69. 25% use up second 7.69. 25% use up the third 7.69. And then finally, I still have 1.92 of that 25% need to cover that total region. So beta at the 25, beta at 25, beta at 25. I add the top to cover that. But remember that the stuff we cover really is based on the observation. Okay? So the quick and dirty game is if I have 2 people, who are the last 2? 170 out for 7.69, and then 145, the second one out. I did not use all of them, because if I use all of them, I will have what? 7.69 plus times 2. That will be over the 10%. So here is 145, only use 2.3%. So that gives me the CVAR value of if I can wait that long for 10%, on average, okay, when I'm gonna fail, 164.2, and think about it, 164.2 is not 170, it's less than 170, because if it's at 170, that's 7.69. If it's 145, that's 7.69 times 2. So I am somewhere in between the last 2. Where am I? Is 164.2, a little closer to 170, because I'm only used up a little bit. Bottom one, same things. Hey, 170, join the party, not enough. 145, join the party, not enough. 120, join the death row is not enough. Hey, I need a 95, join. But join just a little bit, 141.15. You guys see how this is not the correct way to do CVAR doing integral. This is a kind of like, give me 1 second, I'll finish that. This is a kind of like quick and dirty way to get a number. But this quick and dirty way is not a bad way. When I work for industry, a lot of time, the first failure data, they show me something like this. Hey, give me the last 3 years data. What's going on? How many engine failure? How many turbine failure? They give me, and then I say, so how long does this thing last? They tell me how long it lasts. I bubble sort them, give me an Excel. I can roughly say, so where is your budget? And based on this budget, we're going to set beta at what level. And then I can give them a roughly for that level, how long that will last. Okay, so homework, Victoria, for Thursday. Give me a magic number. What is the beta value you guys want to play with? Gentlemen in the back, give me a value. Beta at what level? 23%. Okay, I love that number. Okay, beta at 23%. Figure out what will be the CVAR value based on this set of data. Okay? And yeah, I guess this is good enough. Don't want to make it too complex. Okay, gentlemen, we're good. Okay, what's your questions? Yeah, this is a linear interpolations. Basically, that's why I said that this is quick and dirty. But if you guys actually follow a lot of my old publication or some of my old research work, do you think I like quick and dirty or I hate quick and dirty as a system engineer? I like it because quick and dirty means what? I have an answer for you. Okay? The worst things can happen is what? oh, I need $500,000 of budget, I need to run 10 experiments, and at the end, when people say, so what is my beta level should be? What is my CVAR? And then you start saying, oh, it depends. And this is sloppy, but sloppy answer at least give you a benchmark to operate with. Okay? Yeah. As a system engineer, you should always realize this. The resolutions depends on the usefulness. Don't play something, with a lot of high resolutions, and you draw a function and you cannot find the value. But having said that, this is just show you that this can be done easily. But later on, we're not going to use this kind of sloppy way. We will figure out what is the distribution. We'll figure out a PDF. We'll figure out a CDF. And then we'll figure out what is the proper level of integrations going to do for this. So sloppy answer, and maybe later I'll give you an exercise 2 weeks from now and said, do it in a precision way, do it in a sloppy way, compare the outcome. And sometimes you will be amazed. The sloppy answer actually is pretty good. Next. Okay, I don't care what is your VAR shape, what is a CVAR shape. Generally speaking, VAR and CVAR at certain beta level, okay? They should always go monotonically increase or decrease in the same shape, okay? The black one and the red one, okay? Now, there are some advanced math here. I'm not gonna go into because we're gonna use SAS to approximate each one of them. So here, this is just basically said that here's a cheat sheet. If in case your boss said that I want exact mathematical solutions, here's the cheat sheet. Okay, so now let's go to the lecture notes this week. But before I go to the lecture notes this week, I want to tell you, how many of you ever heard the Fannie Mae, the banking industry? They bankrupt in there are 3 bankruptcies. The last one is all about all the mortgage company, and they involved. And then at the end, Citibank, all the big companies got involved. So the president basically said, we need to bail those companies. They're too big. We cannot let them fail. We need to do something about it. So all Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they have the federal government monitor them every step, make sure they're playing safe. Actually, during that time, okay, we have 2 big banking companies here, right? I know this is on record, but I'll say it, is that Bank of America versus Wells Fargo, both are pretty conservative. But Wells Fargo is even more conservative than Bank of America. So during the crisis, Wells Fargo got out very quickly and clean. But on the other hand, because they are more conservative, during the uptime, booming time, they are not as profitable as Bank of America. Okay? And anybody know what was the story behind and why I talk about this? CVAR is the devil behind this whole thing. And how this is done, and let me share with you an easy story. How come I cannot get? I would like to download the PDF for today. Okay, let's try this. See if that'll work. Nope, it doesn't. on this one or on next one? Okay, so can you help? I would like to download that to the screen so I can have the full screen. Okay, so while Kevin's helping me, I'll explain the story. How many of you ever go to hospital, visit patients, and then you get flour and sometimes get a fruit basket? Yeah, wonderful. Ever visit old grandma, grandpa, get fruit basket and then flour? Okay, never. But you know people sometimes visit with flowers, right? And fruit too. Okay, and usually, do you think the fruit basket, especially right outside the hospital, a good business or an evil business? A good business in what way? A lot of time it's the fruit basket, nice looking, sometimes even with some decorations, and then on top of that they put a glossy wrapping to make it look really nice. Okay, and when people buy the basket, they look at the fruit. I don't care, mango or pineapple or whatever the fruit you like. They all look very glossy, very shiny, very juicy, nice fruit. But when people receive the basket, they open up the fruit basket, what they discover? Only the top look nice. At the bottom, a lot of fruits already rotten. So in other words, is that it's a package. It looks nice from outside, but it's bad inside. So what mortgage company did in the 90s basically is the same tricks. There are a lot of private mortgage companies, small mortgage companies. They'll check your credit score and help you buy a house. Okay, and of course, when I first started in the 80s, okay, the interest rate was ridiculously high. It was like double digit. But when I tried to buy my first house in Boston, was single digit. Was like 8% and 6%. I think 2 or 3 months ago, I heard the housing market, the mortgage dropped to even like 2.5%. So the interest rate is really, really good, or really, really beneficial to the borrower. But in the 90s, what happened is that small mortgage company, they would like to, get their interest and sell their mortgage. So they will target young students just got out of school, and you want to buy a house? We'll help you. Your credit score not bad. We'll help you. Help. What they really want is to get your business. So everybody sign up for the deal. The small mortgage company, when they get the mortgage deal, the contract, do you think they keep the contract to collect your monthly payment? No, they don't. So what they do, they put all the deal they have, package them like a fruit basket, okay? And then they will sell this to small bank. So when they package this, they will push their VAR value as close to the cliff as possible so they can get their benefit. But it looks good enough legally in a package. So small bank will buy it. But when they buy it, basically there are a lot of risks hidden inside. The VAR value is already very, very close to the edge. So now what the small bank is going to do, they bought a lot of mortgage contracts from the individual mortgage company. They repackage them. They sell it to the mid-size banking industry. And guess what the mid-size banking company do? Repackage them. So every time when they repackage them, they push the risk, the VAR, 2.3%, 2.5%. They always using the equation to make sure this whole things, if get audited, is legal. But risk is what? Is something potentially going to happen, but actually it's not happening. So keep pushing and pushing until, Fannie Mae, the big company, when they have the whole package, they got a lot of bad mortgage hidden in there. And so when the stock market crashed, suddenly they're short on cash, and a lot of people, they work for industry, they rely on their monthly paycheck. It's not coming in. They bail it out. And so, it's kind of like a domino effect. The whole thing's crashed. It's all because everybody played with the CVAR game. Okay? Same things can happen to engineering company. Every time when they build a structure, this need to sustain an earthquake at a certain level, or they have to do certain thing at a certain level. They also play the game like, we give you something good enough to sustain this whole things. Okay, and even car companies are doing this. They understand certain car people won't keep the car more than 2 years, no more than 5 years. So guess what will be their warranty gonna be? Cover that 2 years potential problem, based on their estimation of how people driving behavior, commute look like. And then what's their gambling strategy here? Well, when this thing's gonna turn really, really bad, I don't care if it's your motorcycle, your car, by that time, if your VAR is 2 years or 5 years, you already get rid of that car. And you dump that risk to somebody else. Okay? So while I'm talking about this, I'll try to let you understand this is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you need to understand the risk so you can play conservative or you can play risky. But on the other hand, you should understand that you could encounter someone, say you're working for government. You're buying a lot of supply or equipment, a contract from different contractor. And the DOD, they have all kinds of military standard and said this things must sustain this long under these conditions. And otherwise, you're not qualified to be a supplier. And guess what the private company can do? They can understand your threshold and your standard and your policy and find a way to be just enough to do that. Okay? Do you think you guys do that to teachers? Of course you can. You figure out what will be your passing grade to. So if I tell you that to get A, you need 88.5. Okay? Who will be the one get most of the benefit? The one who's making 89. Why? Because he's just 0.5 points above the A level. And who will be the stupid one, who study very, very hard? So this is the two sides of the coins. On one hand, if you're the supplier, if you want to get profit, you're a car manufacturer, what you're trying to do is what? I make it fairly good enough so my warranty is good, and when something go back, it's trouble time, you're already out of the deal. Okay, so just want to show you the ugly side of this. And there's another way I can do this about that ranking example. I would like to show you this. Okay, let's just say that I have a bunch of random number. Okay, and I'm going to use random number times this. You don't need to copy this, okay? I just want to maybe a sign. Random number. Shouldn't be sign, should be ox sign. of E100. Okay. And let me have this as a percentage. Control C, paste value, special value. Okay, so first thing first is I just plotted based on this. This is 100, roughly 100 students. Their total score based on their exam. By looking at this, can you say that, hey, above 80 I'll get A, above 60 I get B, above 40 I get C, something like that? Can I do that? No, so my VAR is determined by what? I just one eyeball and says that level 1, level 2, level 3, done deal, right? But if you do it this way, you could overshoot a little bit of where you set up your VAR value or downplay a little bit. So if I'm the teacher, I'm giving the grade here, I probably will do it this way. I would say data sort, okay, column E. So, okay, this one is over, got extra credit. But people just look at this. Okay. First thing first, we know they should get A here, right? But I will probably give this guy's B. Anybody know why? Because there's a sudden jump. Because if I give him, I give this guy, no, the guy right next to it. If I give this guy's A, guess what will be the problem? The guy right next to it and says that, how come he get A? I should get A too. But if I bundle it this way, I give A to this top, this many people, you probably give him B and he will shut up or she will shut up, not coming back and say that, hey, this is not fair. But see, what is the problem here, what I'm doing here? How did I decide the A level and B level? Do I really have an engineering, mechanical response behind this? Or I'm just looking at the overall performance and said that, okay, I set up my warranty, I set up my A level at this point. Okay, so you know that this is from 0 to 1 deal. Okay, on one hand, we're going to figure out the function. But on the other hand, you know that when you make that cut, okay, if this whole thing is done by AI, not AI, just say that predetermined rule, it's not that worrisome. But a lot of time, our insurance policy, our warranty policy, our grading policy, our inspection policy, it's a little bit like, you know, you shoot the arrow out and then you draw the target and said that, oh, this is good or this is bad. So there are a lot of potential cheating going on in this kind of warranty business or insurance business. Okay? So far, so good? Okay, so now let's do our first exercise, another things here. And now I would like to tell you that, okay, this CVAR things can be used for product or purchase, can be used for radio or can be used for customer service, could be used for marketing service. For all of you, please double check. You can get access to SAS, okay? And email Mosaic. Mosaic's supposed to give you, the school's supposed to give you a free download to use. But I will double check with 213 that the class, we should have one set in 213 for you to use. The 3 SAS procedure you have to know. One is called live regression. One is called Cox regression, or PHREG, stands for proportional hazard. Proportional hazard regression, PHREG. And the last one is called live test. Okay? And before I do all the stats, just like when I cover DOE, I like to use Excel to let you see what you get what you see. And once you feel comfortable with the simple example, I'll cover SAS. Okay? And we also talk about survival analysis or reliability. So far, we covered that is 1 over the arrival rate or incidence rate equal to the expected time to event. And your example is the histogram we did for the Excel distribution. Remember, I have the 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. Every step, I got a chance to flip 0 to 1, 1 to 0 example. And then between the 2, 1 is your waiting time. So, you know, if in 100 hours, you have 45 1. So 100 divided by that 45 event, that is on average the expected time to event. Okay, so this concept is no different from your simulation, Poisson to exponential, exponential to Poisson. Next, okay, we'll talk about, most of the time there is a term you need to understand, it's called censorship. Okay, and most of the censorship we'll cover is right censorship, and we could also do left censorship. And later I will show you censorship also is a cheating mechanism in industry or even in clinical medical trials. Okay, and well, since today is the introduction of lecture 2, let me give you some example how the censorship works. Okay, usually people will have, say, I'm going to come up with a new medicine. And usually when you come up with a new medicine, you'll have 2 cohorts. C-O-H-O-R-T means 2 groups. There will be same age, same health condition, same everything. In this 2 cohort, one part will have placebo. It's not real medicine. The other group will have real medicine. And then we'll start saying, okay, let's see how things are doing. Or, you know, there's 2 cohorts, one have medicine A, one have medicine B. And you want to promote medicine A. So you wait, just like the Excel example, first die in 10 hours, 10 weeks, second die in 20 weeks, third, fourth, you wait and wait until last die, and then you said, I'm not going to play anymore. And you know that a lot of time at the end, there's a possibility a lot of people die because the medicine's not work good enough. How to cheat here? You will say that, oh, for certain patients, they find an alternative treatment. They withdraw from the study. Or you coerce them to go home when you see, man, this is not going to last. And now, statistically, what happened here? When the patients, when they were in the study, are they alive or dead? They're alive. So you basically can say that, I don't know what happened, but at least I know the survival time was accurate when they were in the study. And later I will show you statistically how to treat the censorship example. But we also, whatever I show you guys, I hope I can show you a couple lie detector, so you know that how people potentially can lie on stuff like this. You know, they give you a policy and they suddenly say, oh, this is a very good policy. This will last much, much longer. And they give you the policy, and it basically says that, oh, we'll give you a warranty for 5 years. And this thing's going to last more than 5 years, 7, 8. You know, look at our statistics. But a lot of time, what you should do is, I don't want to see the statistic. I want to see the raw data, and you can capture some of the tricks they do. Okay, I remember this is 20-some years ago, or 30 years ago, when laser surgery just come out for eye treatment, and they said, oh, there's no side effect. Later I realized there are side effects for glare at night, for night driving, but they show me a lot of survival curve, and when I look at it, everything looks so promising. And then I look at the doctor, he was wearing glasses. I'm kind of like, how come you're still wearing glasses? And so I asked how they got their data about the censorship, and realized that something's fishy there. And I cannot say that, you know, who is lying, who is not. But at least I will use the statistics to tell you that whenever you see censorship, especially some tricky censorship at a certain point, you know that the data looks fishy, okay? And next, waiting time for the event. What we really is trying to say is that, okay, we have a variable t, okay, and then the waiting time is between t and delta t, okay? That is my PDF. And when the delta t is so small, you can only allow one event, okay? So what this really means is that in survival analysis, if you do it right, we don't have twin here. Twin means what? Both born at the same time. There's no such things as both born at the same time. Even you have you have twins, if you cut the time scale small enough, there still should be one older brother, one younger brother, okay? And this is always the same thing. If you're reading reliability books, okay, there are some reliability PDF file you can download online. If it's reliability books, they use the notations RT. R means reliability. And if it's a biological function, we use ST. And in this class, I will say RT, ST, your choice. But no matter what, is about 1 minus the CDF, the failure CDF. And CDF means is a probability of how long it will wait. This wait could be 170 hours, it could be 5 hours. And you know that when you make the cut at different time, your probability changed, okay? Next, this is a very important function you need to understand. It's called hazard function. Hazard function is a conditional value. Please put that down. Hazard function is a conditional value. Conditional on what? If I want to talk about a failure between t and t plus delta t, let me repeat that. If I want to talk about the failure event happen between t and t plus delta t, I want to talk about a failure happen after age 31 and 31 plus 1 month. Who can be qualified for that study? At least the guy must survive 31 years. If the guy died at 29, can you talk about this conditional probability? Because he's not there anymore. So whenever we're doing the counting process, the differences to approximate that is that it's always the total qualification getting smaller and smaller. You want to talk about t between 31 and 31.2. He must at least survive the 31 in order to qualify in that window. Next, if you said that, okay, so let me bring the delta t down and said that rewrite this equation is between t and t plus delta t. So I must, given the probability I survive the t greater than t. Because if t is not greater than t, then the top should be nada, 0. And then if you talk about this, you basically said that, okay, now I'm talking about survive t, and given I survive t, what's the difference between survive t and survive t plus delta t? People pay attention here. Why this thing is st minus st plus delta t, not st, what I'm saying is in the numerator, why it's not reversed? Why it's not st plus delta t minus st? Can anybody tell me that? Getting close. This thing, this conditional things is a positive things, okay? St is bigger or st plus delta t is bigger? St plus delta, st is bigger, right? Here, let me repeat that one more time. My survivability at age 31 is higher, or my survivability 31.5 is higher? Which one should be higher? 31, because remember, if it's S0 at the time beginning, what is the survivability? 1, right? And then this ST is a monotonic decreasing function if FT is a monotonic increasing function. Everybody agree with me? So your previous exercise should register. Okay, so if we write it this way, we can take the ST out, and this become ST minus this divided by delta T. So this is a finite differences. This is a slope, or this is almost like a speed of ST. Hey, I'm at ST and I drop to ST, so I drop this much, and the differences of drop happen during that window delta T. So everybody agree with me? This is almost like a speed, a ratio of drop over delta T. And if this is a ratio of drop, we call this as the derivative of ST. And if I write this as a derivative, since it's at time t, so this whole thing, it should keep, it's not flipping the other way around. And so this is negative derivative. And what is the negative derivative? Really is F. Remember, if this is positive, that's FT, right? So if CDF is the function I'm evaluated, the derivative is F prime, the capital F prime. And what's capital F prime? Is your PDF. So PDF over the 1 minus CDF. Let me repeat that one more time. This is the most important thing. PDF over the 1 minus CDF, or PDF over the survival function, this ratio is called hazard function, HT. So what is hazard function? Is a conditional ratio. Given I survive till T, what is the probability of PDF at that T time? So look at this one more time. How dangerous at time T is how hazardous at time T. How hazardous at time T depends on two things. Hey, can you survive that long? And given you can survive that long, what is your likelihood something bad gonna happen at that T, or that T, a tiny bit of delta T? Okay. Before I go any further, I want you guys look at this equation intuitionally. See if you can see that. This whole thing is an important concept. A lot of time we don't remember. I say SAS, we model the hazard function called proportional hazard function. How to model that proportional hazard is based on this equation. How dangerous at time T is the hazard function, and how dangerous depends on our statistics. how likely you can survive that long. If t is 100 years old for old grandma, how likely the survival function at that time? Very, very little. And how likely to have an event at that time? Very, very little. So it's little over little for the hazard function. And on the other hand, if I'm talking about a hip replacement using titanium, lasts for 30 years or 40 years, use it for grandma or use it for a young person, I basically said that, oh, for the young person, how likely he gonna use this hip replacement for the next 40 years? He's gonna, if the young person, a football player, he's only 20 years old, how likely he can wear that thing for another 40 years? So the ST is extremely high. And after that, how likely there will be an event at age 60 or at the event of 40 years after implant. That is the hazard function of H at 40. Okay? Any questions here? Okay? And I know this look like mathematical yada yada, but visualize it. This is an important concept for reliability and survival analysis. Look at it carefully for another 10 seconds. Ask me any question. If you cannot see it. Got it? Okay. Next. Okay. So what is hazard function? Hazard function is really, okay, we're talking about hazard from density and is a ratio between density function, PDF, and your survival function. And is a conditional probability of, hey, I'm going to have an event between t and t plus delta t dt. And so if I do this carefully and say that, so ht equal to sft divided by st, and then I can integrate this dt on both ends, then I can turn this, okay, into an integral. So if I put an integral sign in front of that, that means what? Someone is chewing tobacco since 10 years old. How likely he's going to develop some cancer, of his mouth at a certain age. So how that happened is not just hazard ht, small ht. The integral will be capital HT. That means you accumulated hazard from 15 years old, 16 years old, 17. If you chew tobacco since 15 for 40 years, at the age 55, how much hazard are you going to accumulate? If you accumulate that much hazard, how likely some bad thing's going to happen at a 55.1 or 55.2? Okay? And of course, when we talk about that, how much you're going to accumulate is given that you can survive that long and something bad happened at that specific time. Okay? And so I'm going to do this. Next time, we'll ask you guys to have a quick explanations freehand. So there, I call this triangle relationship. The triangle relationship is a critical relationship between survival function and your PDF, okay, and your PDF and your hazard function, and your hazard function against your survival function. Hazard function against your okay. So these things shouldn't be memorized. These things should be visualized. All three. First, survival function equal to 1 minus the CDF. Agree? Okay? And what is CDF? Is 1 minus the integral from 0 to the event time t of whatever your PDF look like. And therefore, what is this whole things look like? Is what if you're saying that I'm going to have something happen from 0 to t. That means that I'm going to survive from t to infinity. How likely is this? So st equal to 1 minus ft. And this is survival function is I'm going to survive from t to infinity. Or I'm going to have a trouble between 0 and t. First equation, problem or no problem? Victoria, you got that look. Problem? Okay. St is t to infinity. I last that long. All the bad things not going to happen between 0 and t. It's going to happen after t to infinity. So that basically said something bad going to happen is from 0 to t. 1 minus something bad going to happen is 1 minus 0 to t of my PDF integral. Okay? First equation, got it? So if this is the function, then turn around. What is PDF? PDF is the derivative of my capital FT and is derivative of 1 minus ST. And if 1 minus ST, the one part derivative is 0. And the negative keep, and then ST is this. So you know that the S from t means the negative slope of my survival equal to my PDF, right? Because PDF is this guy. Okay. Next, let's look at the bottom one. Okay. So what is hazard function and my survival function? Hazard function is ft over st. Why? Because we already explained it. Is you want to talk about a hazard at time t at age 30, man, you first need to survive st. Given you survive at age 30, and then you can talk about, oh, now I have a failure happen at 30. And since st is, keep it here, is 1 over st, and then ft, we already said it, is the derivative, negative derivative of your st. So this whole things will turn into this. So hazard function is the negative survival rate versus st. Everybody sees that? Yeah? I will have numerical example for all the stuff here using Excel, but I don't want you guys just copy my Excel and then, regurgitate the spreadsheet and get the answer. I want you get tortured algebraically, so you can visualize where the equation coming from. So, if this is my hazard function, and hazard function means how dangerous at a certain time. So what is my capital HT? Capital HT is not I smoke 5 packs per month or 5 packs per day. Is if I smoke 5 packs a day and I've done that for 20 years. So capital HT is the accumulation of the hazard. Okay? HT is how dangerous at that time. Okay? And for example, we talk about exponential distribution is memoryless distribution. So in other words, is that if the hazard function, small letter ht for exponential distribution, say the hazard is 3. Okay? Whatever that 3 means. 3 events or something. That 3 is constant because it's memoryless. Day 1 is 3, year 1 is 3, year 10 is 3. It's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So why exponential is ridiculous? Because the longer you live, you're going to accumulate tons of hazard, but nothing going to happen because you're memoryless. You smoke, 10 cigarettes per day for 30 years, or you smoke tomorrow, start day 1, smoke 10 cigarettes per day. It will be treated equally. There's no accumulation. But on the other hand, I'm sorry. There's accumulation, but not going to change your distribution. So ht equal to the accumulation of something till t of your h, small h. And since we said small h equal to this equation, the derivative of your s, negative derivative of your s over the level you're in. So you rewrite this like this. And now, since you're talking about d something over the ratio, so remember, d log x equal to 1 over x. So d log x equal to 1 over x. So I can say that this whole thing can be rewritten as a log function of SU from 0 to t. Okay? So where is that coming from is because d log over this, okay, is equal to log here. And once you write it that way, people look at here. H capital accumulation of your total amount of bad things equal to the negative of log of your ST. What does that mean? Okay, this is an important concept here. First of all, would you agree with me? The more accumulation of your hazard, the less likely you're going to survive. So HT and ST should be in reverse sign. The more HT you have, the negative will be the more negative, right? The more accumulation of your bad habit, the less likely you're going to survive. So this is the negative part. But then the ratio between the two is really exponential function. So you turn this, reverse it, since this is invertible, since this is a monotonic function, so survival function equal to the exponential of negative of accumulation of hazard. So what it means is the less likely you're going to accumulate the bad stuff, the more likely you're going to survive. Or the more bad stuff you accumulate, the less likely you're going to survive. Okay? So ST and HT, their relationship is inverse of that. And then exponential of that hazard, since HT by definition is the accumulation of your HU, so plug the HT back in. ST equal to exponential negative of the accumulation of hazard. Okay? Now I explained the relationship between how long you're going to wait until the galantine coming down between S and I don't have the PowerPoint. If I have a PowerPoint, this is the animation. It's fun to see the galantine coming down. Okay, finally, I'm going to talk about the PDF and the hazard function. Remember, HT is what? Is the FT over the T, the survival. Okay? So if I rewrite this, I can put the FT on this side, HT on this side, and then the integral of your negative survival equal to the guy we just, this is your ST part, right? So FT equal to HT times the survival, and survival equal to, hey, not accumulating a bunch of bad stuff, exponential negative bad stuff. Okay? And I would say to make these things really, really clear, require a lot of going back and forth between or among this whole three. Okay, so for the undergrad students, since you guys are here, next Tuesday, first things, I'm gonna randomly assign each one of you to say that, explain to me the relationship between S and F, F and H, H and S, and then I would like you to come upstairs, go freehand, and say, this is the relationship, okay? I'm gonna yeah, I'm going to pair. Where's she today? Yeah. Okay, so tell her Tuesday she's part of this. Every time I'll have two of you come up, I randomly assign you for this because I need you to not just memorize it, I need you to visualize it. If you visualize this, all the Excel, all the SAS makes sense. This is the biggest torture we're going to have. But the good thing is that when we do the integrations, well, let SAS do the ugly part, okay? But conceptually, you need to remember this. Okay, I'm not going to do more today. I will have the exercise. So Tuesday, we're going to collect that one, okay? And I'll probably add a little more homework for next Thursday, next Tuesday. Because right now, I only give you a little bit of stuff, right? Okay, so this is the homework. Read and understand, okay? And be honest with you, I will advise you drop this class if you cannot see any of this. If you cannot see any of this, you shouldn't be in this class. Okay, see you next time. Thank you.